also have, of course, Octave. Keep in mind, though, that we've got F to F. So when you're in the upper octave, that's going to be your highest note. These notes aren't going to do anything, although the aftertouch works on these. So you can actually create aftertouch effects. Like, well, let me show you. You can actually, there's an aftertouch where when you play harder, it gets louder. So you can actually activate that on the keys that aren't playing anything because it's single channel aftertouch. So that's kind of cool. And the same thing is true when you're down to the bass. Below the F, there's nothing. So when you're in the top octave, above the F, there's nothing. And when you're in the bottom octave, below the F is nothing. But everything in between, or when you're in the center, so you've got a really cool octave thing. You have the ability to switch those octaves. I kind of wish it'd be really cool if you could have the different instruments, the different channels in different octaves. That would be a really cool thing, but I imagine that would be, it's probably something that required too much effort to make. You have, of course, the volume knob. You have a tone knob. Which allows you either like, this, saxophone sound is too bright. Let me, warm it up by taking a little of the high frequency off. Or you can do what I just did, which is like use it in a musical sense where, for example, brass instruments like start off bright and get duller over time. And then by using the aftertouch, like you could get it louder and brighter simultaneously. It's kind of a subtle effect. I kind of wish that there was more control over the filter, but it works definitely to either shape tone or to use expressively. And then, of course, the pitch, which, if I'm not mistaken, on the original, setting the pitch was tuning. I mean, to tune this, you're playing in the studio with guitars and whatever, and there's differences in like the temperature of the Mellotron or whatever. There's going to be a time where you have to tune to everyone else. You're in a live performance, everyone's getting lower in pitch or something over time. You've got to tune to that. But what ended up happening is you ended up with a situation where you use the tune expressively. Like a pitch bend, basically. It becomes a pitch bend. And there are certain instruments like saxophone and whatever, where pitch bending is part of the oh, here we go. I mean, that's an unrealistic saxophone pitch bend, but still. Doing things like that allow you to create realism in these instruments that you're emulating. You can't help but basically emulate instruments with this instrument. That's what it's for. So you don't have to feel bad about that. But having the pitch allows you not only to tune it. I mean, you could be live and need to tune to other instruments too out there in the audience or out in the audience. If you're playing live, you may have to tune too. But you can definitely use this for... And the cool thing that kind of happens is variations that exist in the sound. By speeding up or slowing down, you're actually just speeding up and slowing down the sample. Or, I mean, in the original, you were speeding up or slowing down the tape. So variations that exist in the sound itself become differently timed. The vibrato slows down. It's really tremolo, but whatever. So you can get some kind of weird effects when you do that. Like if we were, I wonder if we're anywhere near that anymore. It used to be the harp thing. Where's the harp? Oh, here we go. You can kind of play with some of the things and create different effects by speeding up and slowing down the pitch. Or, if a sound doesn't go as low as you want it to, you can definitely drop the pitch down and be able to catch some of the pitches that you need by finding out exactly how low you can tune it and still get the chords that you like. So that's cool. Those are basically, that's the functionality you're looking at with this thing. There is a glowing M on the back that when you touch it, it changes color. I'm not sure how that works, but you can change the color of the light that's coming out of the back of your thing. And also, there are different ways that you can organize the instruments. For example, if you hold A, you get to change how they're indexed. If you hold it, now it chooses by name. So you get things that start with the same words, and it's basically alphabetized. Or you hold it again, and now it's by category. What types of instruments? Mandolin, guitars, violins. That'd be really helpful when I was looking for violins. So that's really helpful if you really want to organize this in regard to, okay, I need strings. Oh, now I need a choir. That's really helpful. The least helpful organization is the one I typically have it on right now, which is by machine, by instrument. So here are all the Chamberlin sounds. Here are all the Mellotron Mark II sounds. Another thing is you can do this, and then it all becomes textural, and you can just make choices. It's a lot faster to see what you're looking for and go straight to it, which is helpful. Of course, you don't have... it also tells you what you're indexing by. So you can change the index, and now you can see all of the names that are similar. And that's pretty cool. It's fun to have the little pictures there, but this is actually a much more reasonable means of organization. So that's basically the functionality that you have on the Mellotron Micro. And it's really basic, but it's extremely useful in regard to performance. And it's so immediate. I have not played live with this yet, but I know I'm going to have a great time because everything is so straightforward and the outcomes are so easy to achieve. All right, this is the Mellotron Micro's interface.